There are multiple cozy games coming out this year, some even in the next few weeks. With very little time for you or me to prepare for the wholesome apocalypse, I'm going to share with you 12 games that are criminally flying underneath the radar. Like in the last video, I'll be starting off with the more cute and fluffy stuff before moving into the more dark and twisty categories. Oh, also, I changed up my audio from the last time I recorded. If I sound a little bit different, then that's why. If you love it, if you hate it, please tell me in the comments because I have no idea what I'm doing with my audio. That is my phone notification. Shiz. I need to turn that off. The Shape of Things takes the basic concept of the Rubik's Cube and applies it to real life objects. Don't fret though. The puzzles are designed to be much simpler than their source material, so you won't get too frustrated with it. Plus, the calm, relaxing atmosphere of the worlds in which you'll be solving these puzzles really helps to keep things, at a level mood. These worlds come from the gachapon you're able to spend your coins in, which you earn through completing puzzles, adding, to the whole thing's overall cutesy factor, which is already pretty high. There's no pressure, no punishment, not even a timer, just chill vibes where you progress at your own pace. It also might be a good game for people who have trouble with one of their hands, as it's made to be played solely with a mouse, no keyboard or controller necessary. Naturally, with those controls, The Shape of Things will only be available on Windows PC, and it's slated to come out sometime in 2023. There's not an exact date. A lot of the games on this list don't have a set release date, but they have about a ballpark of when they're going to be released, so be cognizant of that as we're going through. This next title is also about reshaping things, except it's the entire world that you're molding, or folding. Paper Trail is a top-down puzzling adventure where you're following a young woman named Paige. Paige is a budding academic on her way to university to see if she can cut it. The puns aren't even in my script, they're just coming. By folding Paige's world, you merge parts of it, allowing her to go to new areas and discover long-lost secrets. Throughout the journey, you'll come across a cast of characters that are eager to share their stories with Paige. And really, that's all. That's it. It's a very simple game, right? Well, kinda wrong. This game is designed to have a little bit more challenge than the previous one. At first glance, the puzzles might look easy, but they're designed to quickly get harder as you progress through the game. Paper Trail is to be released on multiple consoles, including PC, Mac, PC and Mac aren't consoles, but you know what I'm saying, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, and it's also going to be on mobile, so yay? If you enjoy management games like Bear and Breakfast, then Townseek might be for you. Oh, for you. With a focus on trade and exploration, you'll be traveling far and wide from town to town, rediscovering the lost legacy of Sir Reginald Sharkington. You'll also be reassembling a journal given to you by Captain Jawline at the beginning of the game. By completing quests and trading in the several eclectic towns, you'll fill in the journal, increase your reputation, and be able to find unique items to customize your blimp, including this shark blimp, which I love because I love sharks. Hello, distant cousins. There are loads of different things for you to discover throughout the world and various biomes that you'll encounter. Oh, and if you're a fan of getting collectibles in games, then you're in luck. Various artifacts can be found throughout your travels. Additionally, several traditional cozy game elements from farming sims are in there, like fishing and mining, somehow from your blimp up in the sky, who knows how many feet away, but it works. I'll assume that these are the things that you'll be trading when you go to the towns, as I didn't hear anything about the actual trade on the Steam page or the actual page for the game itself. If you want to try out the game, there's a demo that's available on itch.io. Please don't play it in the browser, you're going to crash something. The full game will be coming out on PC and Linux sometime this year. Please go and watch the trailers for this one. The music alone is worth it. Bombrush Cyberpunk is probably best described as the love child between Persona 5 and Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Bombrush is all about graffiti, dance, and tricking. In this game, players will start their own cipher and face off against the cops in the futuristic city of Dion Coster. In this metropolis, self-styled crews have their own booster packs where they're able to take off and reach new heights to stake their claim on the urban landscape. You choose a character from your crew and spend the game exploring Dion Coster streets freely, painting or bombing the various neighborhoods you come across. You'll grind, slide, and trick your way both on ground and and air to reach your chosen canvas. Each bombing gives you rep, and with enough of it, you're able to challenge the local crew for their territory. This game is just so 90s and 2000s as flip, and I love it. I'm definitely getting it, and I'm not even into skating. The game is set to be released in summer 2023 for PC, Mac, and Switch. Troubleshooting is another simple game where you take on the form of a JPEG that is in your family's old computer. A computer that is overrun with a virus that you definitely didn't download a few years ago. The story revolves around you helping a very out-of-date antivirus software go through the computer and destroy this virus, you know, without the internet because the Wi-Fi is down. I feel like at that point I just tossed the computer, but no, this is a family relic or some shit, so you're saving it. This game is an FPS where you're able to shoot or click on other files to either make friends with them or send them to the recycling bin. And you need to empty out the recycling bin and do various other computery things like right click on things to get more actions or Control C or Control V to do something. Like actual hotkeys are being used in this game. Like it's so cool. As you can imagine with the whole computer thing, I believe that this is coming out solely on Windows PC, but every time I try to research this game, I just come up with various troubleshooting forums, so I'm going to save you the trouble and link it down below. The game is supposed to come out around springtime of this year or whenever the Wi-Fi gets fixed. I'm looking at my notes and oh my god, it's this next game. Hello Goodboy is a wholesome, non-linear adventure following Iko, a young boy who's just entered the afterlife. With no memory of why exactly he passed at such a young age, Iko must discover the mystery of his death with the help of a strangely familiar and very cute doggo. The game will be spent doing generous acts of kindness for the denizens of the spiritual plane, correcting past mistakes that Iko made in his last life and generally paying it forward. After you help the residents of the spiritual plane, you can break out the comfort food and relax with them. Maybe they'll share a story with you, and each denizen has a story to tell. However, you must be mindful all the time, as you only have so much of it, and talking with one denizen will likely prevent you from missing out on relationships with others. I really like the premise of this game. It's so cute, and just something about a child in their afterlife correcting mistakes that they made in their previous life. I feel like the growth even after death is so indescribably beautiful. I can't find the words for it. And I also know that I should probably answer the question that is burning within you guys' mind. Yes, you can pet the dog. In fact, you can give the dog belly rubs and play with it. And it's an actual game mechanic. Having the dog's Goodboy-o-meter, yes, it's called a Goodboy-o-meter, full and fulfilled will help the dog find mysteries you wouldn't otherwise have found on your own. You know, through its sniffer. It got a good snoot. Hello Goodboy will be coming to PCs sometime this year. Don't know when, but just keep a lookout. Follow their Steam page. This next game, the creator of Vemba retweeted and my eyes widened. Thirsty Suitors is basically Scott Pilgrim, but South Asian and told from the standpoint of Ramona Flowers, and she is a bad I'm not going to curse. I don't curse, usually. In this game, you play as Jala, a young woman who has ticked off her 6 exes so much they have developed a gang against her. Through insanely over-the-top, creative, cinematic combat done in a turn-based style, you'll reconcile with your exes, choosing to either become friends with them or start over again in a hopefully more healthy relationship than it was before. Especially as some of these relationships had stories that Jala only thought she knew, but this time it's told through the perspective of her exes, which brings about some new revelations. There are other aspects of Jala's story that also appear within gameplay. This is another title that includes skating as one of its main focuses. Jala will also be battling the local skater punks and their leader by grinding and wall running across her hometown. Then, and this is my second favorite part after battling the exes, the cooking sections of the game focus around making South Asian food in over-the-top, action-packed sequences. Your work will be judged harshly by Jala's mama, and doing well may help Jala and her mom mend their very strained relationship. Honestly, I encourage you to watch one of the trailers for this game, especially the gameplay walkthrough that is here on YouTube. Words alone cannot describe the utter joy and slight sadness that this game kind of brings to me. The demo is also available for anyone who wants to try out the game. Unless this title gets mixed reviews or something, I'm going straight to the Steam store for it. Heck, actually, this is the game that made me want to make the second list in the first place. Also, speaking of Steam, the page on there doesn't say that it's coming out anytime soon, but on the actual Twitter on January 1st for Thirsty Suitors, they posted that the game was coming out in 2023. So I'll be following the more recent Twitter posts announcement of that. Thirsty Suitors will be coming out on PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, according to the press kit. From the creators of Coffee Talk and What Comes After, Afterlove EP is a mix of a rhythm game, a dating sim, and a narrative adventure. In this slice-of-life visual novel, you'll explore Jakarta, Indonesia as Rama, a young man who's going through a lot of grief after the recent passing of his girlfriend, Cinta. The story follows Rama as he mourns Cinta, finding ways to cope through music and finding new love. However, Cinta's voice, her song, still remains in his head, making it hard for Rama to move on. The choices you make throughout the story ultimately decides how he goes through his mourning and his grief. Honestly, it might take me a long time or a little bit of a while. I'll see how I'm feeling to get around to it, as I have gone through some losses in the recent years, and I'm still getting through them. But either way, I felt like it would be a good thing for me to share with anybody else who thinks that this might be a good experience for them to have. One thing I really want to note though is that the entire dev team of this game is Indonesian, so you could probably expect things to be pretty authentic when it comes to representations of the culture and life in Jakarta. Hopefully it'll be a good way to touch the hearts of people of Indonesian descent. Afterlove EP will be coming out on Switch, PlayStation, and I believe PC sometime this year. Season, Letter to the Future, follows a young woman named Estelle. In her world, her grandparents lived 1,000 years, her parents lived a century, and her generation? Well, they only have a season. Estelle sets out to record the end of the season and all it has to offer for the future generation of anyone who's left after this major cataclysm that's supposed to be happening at the very end, just so that the people of the future can have something real and tangible of the past, remembering their roots. This is a third-person, atmospheric, bicycle road trip adventure. Through all of it, you gain a rich grasp of the culture, history, and ecology of the world at the end of the season, a world on the brink of catastrophic and unstoppable change. This game not only captured me with its simple yet endearing art style, but also the whole premise of the story, gathering things at the end of catastrophe and making sure that the people in the future, in the next generation, have some kind of tangible thing to hold on to from their past. It's honestly enchanting. If I don't cry over Afterlove, this one I'm probably gonna cry over. This game is planning to be released in January of 2023. Actually, it's going to be at the very end of the month, which, if you're thinking about months, is technically the end of the winter season. Very, very clever game devs, I see you. Season will be coming to Windows PC and PlayStation. A Space for the Unbound is yet another Indonesian game. It's a slice of life pixel art adventure game set in a rural fictional Indonesian town in the late 90s. In this game, you'll play as two high school sweethearts, Atma and Yaya, at the end of the year, who hold some supernatural powers. Their journey is one of self-discovery and overcoming anxiety and depression. A mysterious supernatural power is threatening their existence, and together they must explore and investigate their town, which is holding some secrets. That includes diving into people's minds Inception style, or Persona style, but isn't that diving into their hearts? Or am I thinking just solely a Persona 5? I don't know. We'll go with Inception. The store page says Inception. We'll go with that. Through it all, the lovers will learn more about each other and also face off against the end of the world together. Part of me is actually getting slight Higurashi feels from the art style and also like the 90s aesthetic rural town, as well as the heavier subject matter that is going to be explored within the game. And since it's giving me Higurashi vibes, I'm very excited for it. This title is planned to be released for PC, Switch, Xbox and PlayStation this year on January 19th. I read somewhere that this next story is inspired by Frankenstein and Dracula, but I'm not completely sure why. Either way, Frank and Drake is a story about two roommates that are actually complete strangers to each other. Frank works by day and Drake operates by night, and they communicate with each other through sticky notes that they leave throughout the apartment. Despite their separation, they need to learn to work together in order to survive. Somehow, someway, Frank and Drake have found themselves in the middle of a huge conspiracy plot that threatens them both. In order to survive, they must band together, exploring the fictional American city of Oriole and completing puzzles along the way. During gameplay, you'll be alternating between the perspectives of Frank and Drake in their respective day and night cycles. The actions of one will be able to affect what the other is able to do in the future. You may notice that the art style of this game is different than anything else that is on this list, or probably anything that you've really seen, at least recently. It's an art style that's called rotoscoping. I'm gonna read for this one. It combines traditional 2D art with hand-drawn animations overlaid frame by frame over film footage. This game gives the characters an uncanny feeling to them, which honestly ties into the whole gritty and hipster detective vibes that I'm getting from this whole game, which I kind of like. It both creeps me out and intrigues me. This game will be available on PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation in about spring of 2023. I hope you found something that you're excited about. If you'd like to learn more about the new releases coming this year, then check out this video.